My name is Bruce, and this is my God story. My God story is set in 1962. I was serving the smaller of 4 Methodist churches in Kinston, North Carolina. One morning I received a call from the senior pastor of the large downtown church. He asked me if I would do something for him, and I said, if I can. Then he told me there was a young airman from Seymour Johnson Air Force Base who was being held in the Lenoir County Jail on charges of petty larceny. He was Methodist from Delaware. His name was Danny Pearson. Marvin had visited him and had promised to come back the next day to serve him communion. But there had been a death in his congregation, and the funeral was set at the exact time of the visit. Would I visit Danny in his place? I'd never been in a jail before, but I agreed to do so. The next day I went to the jail. The jailer took me to Danny's cell. I met him, talked with him a few minutes, served him communion, talked a few more minutes, left, put the whole thing out of my mind. In July, we moved to Raleigh. In mid-September, there was an article in the Raleigh News and Observer about an inmate from Polk Prison who developed quite a flair for art. He'd actually sold some paintings. At the time, I don't know what caused me to scan the article. I now know it was a God thing. I scanned the article and the name Danny Pearson jumped out at me. I wondered if it was he. So, on Monday morning, I called the prison. The social worker, the nearest thing they had to a chaplain, confirmed it was Danny, and I arranged to visit him the following night. I had never been inside a prison, and quite frankly, I was scared to death. When that metal gate slammed to, I was petrified, but I was there. I was directed to go to a picnic table under a light and wait for Danny. In a matter of minutes, Danny appeared. When he spotted me, he literally began to cry and said, "Mr. Pate, I am so glad to see you. You're the only person that's visited me in over 6 months." I assured him it wouldn't be the last time, so I began to visit him every other Tuesday night. After about 3 or 4 of these, he said there were other men here who'd like to talk with the minister. If it could be arranged, would I be willing? I agreed, and it was arranged, and I began to go back. And in 30-minute increments, those same Tuesday nights, I visited inmates. And that was the beginning of prison ministry. When I left there and moved to Norlina, there was a prison in Warren County. I began to visit there. And from then on until now, I'm deeply involved in prison ministry. My name is Bruce, and this is my God story.